Yes, people, we are live and direct. Big yourselves up each and every time for tuning in once again. I've got my boy with me on Spurs Kings TV. The reunion is finally here. It's been a minute, my broski. How are you doing? What are you telling me, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just concentrating on life at the moment. Trying to follow Tottenham, but sometimes things are a bit more important than Tottenham. But
Life.
it's life. Life gets in the way. But here we are. Pre-season. Another chapter is about to begin in a couple of months' time, and wait, we got to get through it, right?
This is it, man. I've called myself Hass. Look at Arrow. I'm calling myself Hass. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be like Hass.
Well, often imitated, never duplicated.
That's it, man. A real one. There we go. Yeah, man. Listen, I've been I missed the game, man. There's a game going on right now. It's Portugal alive, and apparently Cristiano, you're telling me he scored a banger. I just see that on X. I see that first touch, and he's just rolling back those years, man, putting it top bins. I said, hey, yo, Ronnie, yeah?
Yeah, he's still. Do you know what? He's still got it. I think we was talking like off air about him crying because obviously he didn't win the league or the cup with his team in Saudi Arabia. I think that might make him more hungry to play for Portugal to win more honors. But he's a born winner. He's going to want to come out on that pitch in the Euros and roll back the years. So I like Ronnie, man. I do like Ronnie, and I just want to see every good player in that tournament just playing out their skins.
Yeah, rip it up, man. Me too, man. I want to see Luka Modric roll back.
Oh, 100%.
I'm a big fan of his, and the way he plays football is just at a different pace, at a different level. But yeah, man, big up to the chat, man. Everyone's inside. Big up Tommy G saying the good evenings. Jessica, I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? Yeah, man. Big up everyone. Yan as well. Big yourself up, man. And everyone else that's watching at home that aren't in the chat, big yourselves up. But yeah, man, Hass, I wanted to get your thoughts because I haven't heard from you for a minute. And you guys in the comments as well. I just want to know where your head's at with Spurs because some people switched off slightly. It's the transfer season. There's optimism for some people. Some people think it's the same old same. I just want to get your opinion. Like, I'm going to throw you straight in the deep end and ask, where do you think Spurs will finish next season? And can you add a little bit of context as well, man, as well with it?
Yeah, look, it's a tough one because I don't. If we compare it to last season, right? If we go through last season,
yeah,
everyone said transitional year. I'll be happy if we finish 8th.
Yeah.
We've lost Harry Kane, so we didn't know what was going to happen, who was going to take over. There was a lot of question marks. Lo and behold, a very topsy-turvy season. We managed to finish 8th. We managed to finish 5th, so above expectations slightly. And it's very much a transitional year. We got to know a lot about Ange. We got to know a lot about the players already at his disposal. And we also got to know a lot about the players that come in, all the new recruits. So this year, that shapes what we need to do for this year, i.e. getting rid of the dead wood, getting rid of players that are no good. We'll go through it later on in the show. But even Ange, stuff that he needs to work on, tactics in the Premier League. Let's not forget, it's his first season in the Premier League. A lot of naivety from our manager in terms of, in-game tactics, substitutions, etc. So a lot of question marks. Despite all of that, we finished 5th. I think realistically, where Tottenham should be is in that top 4. If we can get the right players in. If we're going to try and improve upon last season, then you've got to say top 4. But teams around us are going to also improve as well. The likes of United, the likes of Chelsea, all these teams are going to want to improve for next season. They're going to spend money. Are we going to do the same? If the manager's backed, if the team is backed and players come in, then, surely we've got to be looking minimum like top 4 finish, minimum 4th for me. It has to be an improvement year on out. You know what I mean? So I think I can't really say where we'll finish, but I think we have to be in that bracket of top 4 if we get the right players in.
I hear it, man. I'm going to add my 2 pence, and I want to big up Mr. Box Office for joining us. I know he did Bro, what's that sound? You hear that? Sound like someone passing wind.
That's his entrance sound, isn't it? He has arrived.
Right, man, you know what? Opens the window.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there.
Like, what? Where did he go?
You know what would have dropped
what
if you had smoke behind you and that sound come out?
Hey,
that would have been, you would have smashed it. You would have smashed it.
Big up, Alex, man. We're just talking about. I think I'm just a continuation. I wanted to hear Hass's opinion where he thinks we'll finish next season, and I was going to give my 2 pence, but since you're here, bro, where do you think? Give us some context where we could finish next season, in your humble opinion.
At the moment, I don't. It depends on what other teams are doing, but in my eyes, at the moment, I think 6th, 7th.
Okay.
I'm very underwhelmed at the moment. Very, very underwhelmed. I'm interested to see what players you're going to be talking about, Ashmatic. And if I'm thinking about the players that you're thinking about, I'm thinking about. I'm very underwhelmed. Very underwhelmed. Not that it really would have made a difference what my feelings are, because you know what my feelings are going to be whether I change my mind on this at the moment. But and especially Postecoglou. But I don't like the signings we're going for at the moment. I think there's only 1 or 2, and it's not even changing my mind. I've got to be honest.
So you think next season we'll finish slightly behind where we are now? We'll finish a lesser place, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think we'll finish a lesser place.
And who do you think will take over us? Where do you think the competition? Who's going to be ahead of us?
I think you got to look at Manchester United. You got to look at Chelsea, regardless, because they're going to be really want to be up there. Liverpool, obviously, Newcastle as well. But yeah, I think those teams at the moment. I can't remember.
Well, I was going to throw a quick rebuttal, real quick rebuttal. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a show, would it?
Yeah, go.
So Manchester United, they haven't actually got a coach at the moment. I think Ten Hag's up in the air at the moment. I've been watching a lot of Manchester United streams and talking to a lot of fans, and they don't know whether they're coming or going. They are linked to players, and they do have a sporting director in charge. But in terms of the philosophy, the style of play they're going to do, they're not too sure whether it's going to be Pochettino, Ten Hag. A few managers have distanced themselves already from that position already. So they're looking at like a bit of a mess. They're looking to sell Sancho. Rashford was in tears, looking to cry at that cup final, looking like he's about to leave the club. Their midfield, to me, is still all over the place. Their midfield looks horrible, if I'm being totally honest. Even their centre-backs, I think Varane may be on the move, may be leaving. So I'm not too sure Manchester United will just jump back into the top 4. I know they're a massive club, but I think the FA Cup win has papered over a lot of cracks. So they're a team that will be in transition. So whether that means that transition will pop them straight back into the top 4, for me, that's a debate to have. Looking at Chelsea, they've got a brand new manager who's just come up from the Championship. He was a Pep disciple, yes. But will he be able to get over his philosophy with all those personalities? They might eat him alive. I thought Poch was doing a number. He was on an upward trajectory with them. Obviously, he started a bit slow, had to figure out that kind of midfield system at the moment. And then it just kind of like the board's lost patience. So I'm just thinking, Chelsea, are they going to have enough patience? Big up, Deji. Are they going to have enough patience to see Chelsea get to that next level and then finish in that top 4? Yeah, they might sign players, but that might also like dismantle the dressing room. So, when you sign too many players, you've got a new manager, a new voice. Chelsea might be all over the gaff. I'm not sure if Chelsea will pick us. We're further along in our build at the moment. Looking at Aston Villa, I thought Aston Villa would potentially probably be the one to give us trouble, but they're arguing over the PSR rules at the moment. They're about to lose Douglas Luiz, and I'm looking at their fan base having a meltdown because Douglas Luiz was one of their best players, one of their standout players, and he's on his way off to Juventus. So it looks like they're being weakened whilst going into the Champions League, having more games on top of it. You look at Newcastle. Newcastle had a bag of injuries last season. they need to do a lot. But again, they're stuffed because that whole PSR thing, they can't really move. People are looking at their best strikers, their best players as well. I'm not totally convinced that there's too many teams to kind of jump from what Tottenham are doing. I hear what you're saying about the players we're linked with being underwhelmed, but the window opens up Friday. I think Spurs are being very, dare I say it, coys by keeping their cards close to their chests. I don't know, innit? Like, nobody knows really what the targets are. And I kind of like it like that because before, I remember at Liverpool gazumped us to that Diaz deal when we were talking, hyping it up. Yeah, we're going to get Diaz. Yeah. The Paratici lost his mind when we lost it in January. And we lost it. I think the club learned from that, like, raw, we need to start moving a little bit more diligent and move a bit more in silence. Like, so like, I do hear the concerns, like whether we can finish in that top four again.
Of course we can.
I'm not too sure about the competition. I think all of them have got a lot to do. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Even some good points. You got some good points. I'm not lying to you. Don't get used to it, Ashmatic.
Come on, Alex. Put a smile on your face, Alex.
I see what he's saying. You know what I mean? Obviously, the guy that has to dig a hole for himself is beside me. Wants to have a little bit of a go. By the way, it's good to see Haz. By the way, it's good to see Haz. By the way, on the show. By the way. But yeah, no. Listen. I just think I can't stand this PSR. I really cannot stand it. I can't stand it. It's just ruining football. Honestly, it makes Sean so important and these finance people so important these days. It's just getting on my bloody nerves. Honestly, it's just getting on my bloody nerves. It's just get back to the 90s so we just talk about the football. Yeah. Honestly. I'm just getting bored of it. It's just like it's ruining the game, honestly. Offsides and everything else is just boring me to death, honestly. But yeah, just like for me, just for me at the moment, I just think at the moment we're putting our chest out saying that we're the PSR champions and all that crap and everything else, yeah. And I just don't see it. I just see us. We're looking for value players, and I just think it's just. I can't get excited. I just cannot get excited. I can't get excited about Verbal. Yes, he might be good because no one knows about him. Whoopie do. We heard that with Carvey. We had that with Van der Ven. Let's see what they do next season, flopping like everything else. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's just I'm just not excited. I'm not excited about Werner. I'm sorry, and I don't care what anybody else says. Oh, don't talk about Werner. There'll be the same people moaning about him next season when he doesn't score his chance. You know what I mean? Yeah, and just like I don't think Tottenham fans, the Tottenham board, get it. You need arrogance. You need swag in your team. You know what I mean? You need arrogance and you need swag in your team, and it's just like we're getting these nice players, and I just don't think they get it. And then we're getting these players that need to be trained, and we've got no coaches in our team, in our backroom staff. We've got no coaches because it's not as Postecoglou, and we've lost one coach to Birmingham. So I'm like, where's the coaches?
That's not fair.
Where are the coaches? Well, no, because Deji, I'm sorry, we're starting early. That's right, because he started already on me already. Yeah,
I haven't said anything, man.
He started already. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Because
I'm going to be nice.
He started to love Postecoglou when he's only known in 5 minutes. The point is, that's how deluded he is. The point is, right? It's just like I'm not seeing a club moving forward with the fact that we don't hear nothing from the club again. It's just like, I've got nothing to go on.
Can I just say something?
And that's it. And now I'm going to hand it over to Deji to dig a hole for himself and say something stupid. There you go, Deji. There you go. Well, here's the microphone. There you go.
It's a pleasure to be on here. Sorry for my late arrival. And you know, if you were listening to our learned friend, you'd think Spurs were in the Championship. The truth is, Alex, that, you know, Ash has made a really valid point. You see, football is about having a plan. And sometimes the plan, I'm going through this in my personal life, even with my son at the moment. Sometimes the obvious plan is probably not the long-term answer. So, for example, you know, we talked about Van der Ven. You didn't know Van der Ven was going to be Van der Ven. You know, I was even speaking to someone who told me Van der Ven couldn't play left wing back. Well, bloody hell, you could have fooled me, because against Canada, the guy was looking like Gareth Bale reincarnated. Do you get what I'm saying? Slicing them down the left-hand side. So in terms of being underwhelmed, I get that. But for me, I'm happy to be underwhelmed, provided that what he brings in works. If Muriel, if Morgan Gibbs-White, if Eze, if Tony, if they come into our squad and it works, Alex, you would be shaking your bum violently for our club. Now, you say that Postecoglou is not a coach, but for me, the definition of a coach is, can you make average players better than what they were? Did he make Ben Davies better than what he was? Yes, he did.
No,
Did he make Pape Sarr better than what he was? Yes, he did. Did he make Madders? Because let's be real, people say they knew about what Madders can do. Really? I remember Madders. I don't remember him being that good in terms of the first 10 games. I thought he was all right, but I didn't think, oh, this guy is absolutely amazing. So amazing that actually we didn't miss Kane as much, especially in those first 10 games. Let's just be real. So I think Postecoglou is someone who can bring in players that we don't know, players that are not going to excite us. But if these are hardworking players that are going to get the job done, then that is what I want. I don't want to bring in an Ndombele that does absolutely nothing for 200 grand a week and we spend 65 mil. I don't mind going for a Gibbs-White. I don't mind going for a Billy Gilmore. I don't mind going for a Muniz, provided that it works. And that's what we Spurs fans need to be focused on. Bring in the players that work. Look at Eze, bro. The truth about Eze is he was let go everywhere. Crystal Palace took a risk and now he's in the England squad. That's what football's all about. Can we identify a gem? I'm fed up of Spurs taking so-called ready-made players that aren't ready. Let's go out and find a Caicedo for 3 mil. I'm up for that. I'm up for an Enciso. Go and get them for 2 mil. Why are we allowing the Brightons of this world? You know, bloody hell, Wolves got Pedro Neto. Imagine if we had got him for 3 or 4 mil. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's go out, find these underwhelming gems, and hopefully they turn into superstars. We started with Van der Ven, and let's crack on and kick forward. I think under Postecoglou, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Arsenal done the same. Saliba, that Arsenal fans keep shaking their bum about violently, who was he? I mean, he's not even he doesn't even start for France. Hey, but all of a sudden, he's the best defender in the league. Gabriel Morales, he wasn't even in the Brazilian squad before he got to Arsenal. Martinelli wasn't even sniffing around the Brazilian squad until he got to Arsenal. Point being, there's some gems out there, and I think Postecoglou has proved over many years in his various clubs that he can bring unknown players. I take the Japanese players that he took to Celtic, bloody hell, sourcing in that league. So I think, you know, Mr. Box Office, for me, what I want from you, I get your stance and no one should change your opinion. And I think me and you, we're brothers. And I realize that we're just brothers, but on a different side of the coin. If I had woke up on the left-hand side of the bed, I'd probably be more like you, to be honest with you. But what I would encourage you to do is to say, look, let's just hang back. Because you keep going on about nothing's going to change, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to change. My argument is, how do you know? Did we know? I'm looking at Haas and Ash. Did you know that Poch was going to get Tottenham to finish top 2? Did you believe when Poch first came in, he would get us to a Champions League final? Let's be real. Did you know that?
No.
Not when he first signed, no.
But you were pleasantly surprised when he did, yeah?
100%.
So who's to say that Postecoglou can't do the same for our club?
Because Pochettino's a better coach than bloody Postecoglou all day long, every single day, bro.
No, but if you look at Postecoglou,
he made Sissoko, who's absolutely useless into goal, bruv. Made Dembele into a midfielder gem, bro. Yeah, made Foyth into a right back, into inverted right back. That Emerson can't even do it in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, sorry, but he brought in young players that Postecoglou doesn't even find them any good enough. You know what I mean? Our youngsters not good enough. The class of '92, according to somebody.
In Postecoglou's first season,
class of '92, I was told.
But let's look at this. I can take 2 players that he showed an improvement on. In his first season, who would have thought that Pape Sarr would be one of our main midfielders this year. Could put your
Oh,
hand up if you thought
Pape
this
Sarr
up.
is overrated, bro. I'm
No,
sorry.
he's not.
I'm done with this trying to be done.
Okay, let's
No,
deal
I'm sorry.
with, let's
No,
deal
no.
with
Don't even try
Richarlison.
to be
Let's
about.
be real.
Okay, Sarr.
Everybody wanted
I've seen
Richarlison
better
gone.
in my time,
All right,
in
Alex.
my own time, in my
What
lifetime,
about the
in my
fact
lifetime,
that
bro.
Richarlison got double figures before the season started?
Richarlison is
everyone would have bet
rubbish,
their
bro.
mortgage that he wasn't going to get 5 goals.
Richarlison, I could be a better striker than Richarlison all day long, every single day, man. All I need to do is stand there and act like a shield, and then fall over. That's it, man. That's all I need to do. You know what I mean? Have a few lucky goals and have a purple patch, and that's it. I'm sorry, no.
It's not.
I'm sorry, no.
The thing
The
is,
problem with Richarlison is, sorry, it's Matt. I didn't want it to make the Deji and Mr. Box Office
No,
show,
it's
yeah.
cool,
But
bro. You
unfortunately,
carry on.
you know how it is. I'm sorry, Haz. You know what I mean? I really do apologize for this because you need your time to shine, bro. My point is, yeah, right. It's just like I'm just getting tired of this rhetoric about us convincing us about this player. Do we actually know that we had Berbatov in our team? Do we actually know we had Sheringham in our team before, back in the day? Yeah. Do we actually know we had bloody Robbie Keane, Defoe in our team? Yeah. And we're talking about these strikers like Richarlison. Please.
yeah, but things have moved on.
Please. No. Don't tell me it's moved on, bro. You've got an IQ, bro. What football is, bro. Not these kids that like to tell me about stats. Like someone just said in the chat about, oh, Johnson's got better numbers than bloody Martinelli. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Can I just reply to Destiny 5? Destiny 5. I'm not saying that Spurs ain't going to make sense. I've said it before, and I know I've seen you about. I've said that Tottenham need to make one statement signing. Yeah, I said Eze would be the statement. We bring in Eze, even Arsenal fans start to shake their bum violently for our club. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, in relation to once we get that statement signing, Tony is also decent, bro. If we bring in Tony, that's a decent signing. I would like to see another winger. And there are going to be a couple of players that we just don't know about, and we won't be able to judge him, and we won't be able to start shaking our bum for him until the Premier League season starts. So you saying that we need to bring in a few big signings, I think we need one statement signing, and then what we need is 4 or 5 Van de Ven type signings, and we will be fine. Do you get what I'm saying? I think what we got to do is get out of this Chelsea mentality, okay? That's why Conte left. Conte left because he saw Chelsea were able to bid 120 mil for Caicedo, and he wanted a Caicedo type player, and Daniel Levy said, mate, we can't afford him. And he thought, bloody hell, you can't afford him. What am I doing there? Because that's the sort of football that I want. I want to be able to pick any player in the world and bring him in. And he couldn't. And that's when he lost the plot and he decided to go to Italy and manage the club from bloody Turin. That's what happened. Postecoglou is not like that. He is happy to take unknowns and make them known. Van de Ven was an unknown. Now he is known and he's respected. And now he's doing his thing for his national...
Van de Ven was doing what
can I ask you... Sorry, can I interject and ask you a question, Deji?
Yeah.
If Conte had the team that Ange has now, where do you reckon he would finish?
If Conte had
I say that because Conte managed to get us top 4 with a back 4 of Dyer, Sanchez, Davies, and Royale.
Yeah,
look at the team that he had to work with. Okay,
I think Conte he would have got us 14th, and let me explain why. Conte wanted to bring back Maldini, wanted to bring back Albertini, Costa Curta, and Hernan. This brother, if he could, he would have brought back Hernan Crespo. Do you know what I'm saying? So, he wanted to bring all these old fogies back to our club. And I was thinking, what, is he a madman? Look, Conte ball, I get it. But sometimes we got to look beyond the stats. And sometimes has, with the greatest respect, and Alex, yeah, we finished 4th, but it was dusty. It's almost like Eric Ten Hag saying, when Eric Ten Hag won the FA Cup, he came out with chest and said, that's what I do. I get trophies. I win trophies everywhere.
That's disingenuous.
No, despite the fact that's probably the dustiest Man U team we've ever seen in our lives. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know how old you lot are.
That's disingenuous.
I'm 1980s, and I've never seen a dustier Man U team than the one I've seen this season. That's the truth. No, Alex, you know that
Deji,
The only thing
don't
that
you tell,
thing did,
don't
FA Cup covered
pretend
the
that
cracks.
you were shaking your bum when we got fourth. Don't tell me that you don't pretend that you weren't
I
shaking your
shook
bum
my
when we got
bum that
fourth.
we got fourth, but
Don't
let's
don't
be
start.
real.
Don't
It
start. So
wasn't.
you're telling me
It
that you
wasn't
weren't
legit
shaking your
though.
bum when
No,
when
but can I
sorry for
just
the
say
audience
this?
if you're offended by me saying that, by the way.
Let me tell you
But
what this
you know
is.
what I'm saying. But
Lastly, because I don't want to take up all of this, I also want to listen to my learned friends.
yeah.
Under Conte, we built our house on sand. So on the outside, it looks good, mate. But as soon as any wind starts to blow and we had a little bit of rain, the whole thing would have just collapsed. And that's what happened. That's what happened the following season. What Postecoglou is doing is he's building the foundations. Yeah, he's building brick by brick on our way up. This is what he did in Japan. This is what he did in Oz. This is what he did in Scotland. Remember, this brother is in charge of Spurs. The whole world will tell you that Spurs is dusty in terms of the squad and in terms of what we can achieve. Yet this unknown brother, Postecoglou, got our supposedly dusty team fifth with players that can't play his system. Who's to say that with 3 or 4 players that come in that can play his system, he can't kick on? So for me, I'm ready to do the long-term game here. If Postecoglou finishes top 4, I'm saying with chess right now, rest assured that 27-28 season, Spurs win the league. Now, as for me, I'm happy to wait 5 years or 4 years for Spurs to win the league, provided we win the league, than to keep doing what we're doing. And people keep telling us, well, it's been 60 years. Wow, it's been 70 years. Wow, it's been 80 years. Oh, bloody hell. It's 100 years. It's been a century since Spurs won the league. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Spurs going a century without winning the league? That is the most disgraceful thing could ever happen to Spurs. So for me, let's play the long game and let's get it over the line.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna throw it a little bit different this week, and I'm gonna say we're gonna do like a squad builder,
Yeah,
a little squad builder for Spurs, and see what we can agree on and what we think. Because realistically, we don't know the budget. The budget could be minuscule or it could be sky high. We don't know. We don't know. But I want us to be a little bit realistic with it if we can. And here is the squad. So I don't know if you guys can see it at home, but I'm going to try and go through it. So in the sticks, I'm assuming we're all happy with Vicario. Is that cool?
No.
No?
No.
You're happy with Vicario, no?
No.
Why not?
I had him down before the season as potentially vicarious liability. He started off the season well, like Madders, and then he proved himself to be vicarious liability. This thing of not being able to deal with balls in the box is an issue that has not been dealt with. For me, we need to be looking at another keeper. If Arsenal could find a competition for Ramsdale, who, let's add, was the goalkeeper that got them second. If Arsenal can do that, then I want direct competition for Vicario, because I'm not having this disaster class that he does, where he can't bloody win one bloody ball that comes in the box from a corner. It's pissing me off.
But hear me up, bro. I mean, this is like one window where I'm saying we're not going to fix all the problems all at once. You see what I'm trying to say? And I don't know if Tottenham, the club, think that he's going to be a priority signing in terms of like what we do this window. Because from what I've heard, we'll want to focus on the number 8 role, an attacking role, and I know Ange wasn't happy with the wing play. So I don't know. Maybe, possibly centre backs. By the sound of it, the spine of the team is what he wants to fix. But I don't know. Guys, do you disagree? Do you agree with Deji? Do you think we need to get rid of Vicario? Should I take him out? What are your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Has?
No, I think Vicario's had his own issues to deal with, like towards the latter end of the season, notably with the crossing and stuff. But I think he's been quite capable. His numbers were up there, I think, first half of the season, the saves that he was coming out with. And I think in a few games he did actually save us and won us points with his performances. So I think Vicario stays. I think he's a good goalkeeper, but there is couple of things that he needs to work on. He's catching from set pieces, etc. I think he's decent. I think he stays and we'll get a decent backup or a number 2.
Not Forster though. Forster's a disgrace.
No. That's why I said we get a decent number 2 or a backup goalkeeper. But I think Forster will stay for next season, to be honest.
Or can I just put it out there that I would have preferred Nick Pope in goal?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because this brother is, I don't know. But yeah, I take your point. I take the point that Spurs are going to stick with him. But if he can't deal with balls in the box this season, he needs to go.
Isn't that down to as well, like the help that he needs from the centre backs and the setup from the coaching and stuff? But no, I hear what your point, 100%. Like he needs to be more commanding in the box. And something that I did notice when I was looking at him, I was analysing him before we even bought him. I thought he looks a bit flappy in the box, but I felt like he slyly addressed that as it was like we had a few set piece issues. I thought we got better as the season went on. At first, Man City were all over us and they were having us up. And then the rest of the league caught on. They were like, yeah, you know what? That's the Achilles heel. Everton, straight away, they were onto man. And then after that, it was like every other club. Brentford were trying it. But like every other club was just trying it after that.
Can I just be real? The only thing I would say that people seem to miss is that every other goalkeeper in the league, up even as low as Luton, didn't have that issue. Just saying that issue, you know, I know we kind of glazed over it, but it's pretty poor. I mean, for me, that's bog standard. Being able to command your box is goalkeeping 101. I like. You know what I'm saying? My goalkeeper can't command his box. I mean, bloody hell. You know, that's like, hello. So as soon as everyone clocked, it was like, oh, bloody hell, this one is weak. And
but you know what it is as well? I think the centre-back, remember, we used to get a player on the man that was standing on him. He should have been doing that a long time ago. And the fact we didn't do that. And then at one point, we stopped doing that as well. And I think clubs clocked onto that. And then it started happening again, which was nuts to me. So I just think like the season starting now, I think we need to have a player on Vicario, like as in protecting him, a player that pushes off another player and stops that happening. Because as soon as that happens, he stopped letting in those goals, those silly little set pieces, in my opinion. So I don't know, like I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to agree with Haas and say we need a number 2 to come in. But as I said, I think there's more pressing issues ahead. So I'm going to say Vicario to stay, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying Vicario stays in the sticks. I don't think we're going to replace him this season. But moving seasons on, like, yeah, I think, yeah, definitely. Maybe towards the back end of the window, we look at the number 2. But I'm going to move on to our centre-backs. And with our centre-backs, I'm going to name Mickey van der Ven. Are we happy with Mickey van der Ven before I go any further?
Yeah, 100%.
Just in case there's any rebuttal or anything like that.
Still needs a better season next season. Still needs a better season next season.
He might need a better season, but he's exactly the player that fits Ange Postecoglou's system in that he's quick and he fits the system like a glove, innit? So
he fits the system, but I am concerned about his hamstrings because those will click. Those will click all day, every single day. Right? If he keeps on doing what he's doing, saving our asses every single week, right, it will click, especially with more games. Right? It was annoying me the amount of times he couldn't play on the left. That is Postecoglou's fault again. Question him about being a coach again.
He didn't know. Yeah.
Please don't make excuses for him. I'm sorry.
No, but can I just make one point, Alex? Not to cut you. I used to coach a team, like an adult men's team, and sometimes you can have an idea in your head, yeah. And sometimes it's hard to move from that idea until your hands are forced. I believe if Ben Davies hadn't been injured, we would never have seen Van der Ven on the left-hand side. He would have just gone with it, thinking that, oh, bloody hell, Van der Ven can't play left. In having the crisis, we were able to see that, oh, maybe Van der Ven is an option. A bit like Kulusevski playing the number 10 role. That wouldn't have happened had Madders not been long-term injured and we lost Lo Celso at the bloody same time, because Lo Celso was the obvious replacement. And that's why I called the season test and learn. Now we've learned something new about our squad that we didn't know before. We've now learned that Kulusevski, if he's dusty on the right, maybe he can do something in the middle, maybe, even though I want him gone. And then we've also learned that Van de Ven can play left back. That now is something better that we can now, is now an option. Should we be in the same situation and we are playing Liverpool and Arsenal, now what we do is we put Van de Ven out on the left. That is the difference between getting slapped up and maybe getting a draw, sneaking and getting 3 points.
He put Emerson Royale on the left. That's just suicide.
Yeah, because he didn't think Van de Ven could play left.
Couldn't see the guy couldn't play on the left. I'll tell you right now, a Pochettino, Eddie Howe would just straight away, it would have figured him out straight away. Would have known. But by now, with 1 game a week with this guy, 1 game a week with this team, and he couldn't see that this guy couldn't play on the left. Sorry, no. I'm sorry. I don't get it. You see him on the bloody sidelines, just standing there while his coaches are doing his things around, doing the coaching. So how can you not see that guy can't play on the left?
Yeah, fair.
And you had Emerson. He had Emerson there every single time. Davis is useless on the left. Yes, I'll give him this. Davis as a centre back, he was all right. But I'm sorry again. He has to be better next season because they'll find him out next season. Their teams are going to be looking at him, scouting him next season because they'll say, "Well, you're the best player last season. Let's see where we can try and really get to him.
I mean, so far, the only positive thing I'll say, I think the back four speaks for itself, Ash. But so far, so good. If you saw Van de Ven's performance against Canada, he's kicking on, mate.
Yeah, no, I missed it. I wanted to see it. To be fair, I'm going to name your doggy straight in. But I hear what Alex is saying. Obviously, he needs to repeat what he did last season. The only problem with, I'd say, going back onto Mickey Van de Ven was, the way Gordon wrapped him up, bro. He folded him like a deck chair. It was mad. The way he folded him up, I said, wait, hold on. His lateral movement is poor. The way he just turned him and he did it twice, I said, nah, you know what? He needs to work on that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he needs to anticipate, not always just like as you're doing your recovery runs, not like gym. But yeah, moving on to your doggy guys. Thoughts of last season? You're happy for him to stay there? I know you said the back four is settled, but
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, everyone happy with doggy.
Best left back in the league.
I wouldn't say he's the best left back in the league. No.
Who's better than your doggy?
I just don't think he's the best left back in the league.
Who's better than the best left?
I don't know. I don't know who's the best left back.
Alex, you're getting caught out again.
I'm not getting caught out. I just think it's another thing about. Yeah,
and I've been really nice to you this evening. I've not gone down your throat. I just asked you a simple question. You said he's not the best, and I said who's better.
Oh, I just don't think he's the best left back in the Premier League.
But you can't name who's better.
Well, just at the moment for me, no, I just don't think he is.
All right, some people might say Ake is slightly better than better than him, and some people argue even as a left back, and then some people could argue Vardial's better than him as well.
Guardiola is good.
Vardial is quality. Like, before he went to City, right, I didn't even know he can play left back like that. Let alone an attacking left wing back. I didn't know that. I thought he was a good defender, but wow.
Don't get me wrong, your doggy, like, he's had a few howlers. Don't get me wrong. That was one time he said he thought it was a red shirt. The what's it called? The Teletron or something. You know, the advertisement.
No.
He did it and he passed it backwards.
You're joking.
And then it was a through ball, and then Brentford did the mad thing, but. Yeah, there's a few but that's just him being raw. A few mistakes. I'm gonna give him the blame.
I don't know.
It's the first season. You're gonna make a few mistakes.
The reason why I say it though,
Ashley Cole vibes.
No, he's not.
I think he could be the best left back in world football.
He's not. I mean, the difference is with Udogie and Van de Ven at the moment. Who was our centre back and left back the previous season?
Reguilon, maybe. Was Reguilon off left back before?
And who's that player that went to Aston Villa?
Oh, Longley.
So when you look at the difference, right?
Mm.
This is what Tottenham fans make the biggest mistake doing, yeah? When you had that quality, right? And then you get someone that is done a little bit better with no expectations, honeymoon period, season, right?
Yeah.
People think, oh wow, oh I can't believe we got someone a little bit better than you know, the players that we had before. Oh, I can't believe it. So they must be really good. But when it's like you're looking at it and thinking they're just a little bit better than some of the players that we had before because the quality was absolutely useless. You see what I'm saying? So this is the thing. It's this glass is half full again with some of these Tottenham fans like Deji at the moment. You know what I mean? You know, and I need Deji back. You know what I mean? Because I don't want you to be nice to me. I need this Deji who's really full to the bill at the moment. Because I'm done with this nicey Deji. You know what I mean? I need this guy that's really ruthless. So the point I'm making is, yeah, right. It's just like I just don't see it at the moment for me. You know what I mean? I just think.
Talent, mate.
Oh well, whatever. I'm
He's
sorry. Special
a
talent.
He's a special talent.
We always have these wonder kids every single time. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Just go to Real Madrid. Go and see Real Madrid, and then you'll see quality.
Yeah, but we're not Real Madrid.
Modric. Yeah, that's quality.
We're not Real
that
Madrid,
is quality. Yeah, that's showing you what it's all
but
about.
We're not state backed.
Ashley Cole.
Ashley
Cole. That's quality. Yeah, showing how to grow as a player. You know what I mean? He's only had 5 minutes.
Alex, I would say he's better than any other player in that position at our club at the moment. However, if I was to compare him, however, to someone, and I mentioned Gavardio, they're similar age with Gavardio. Don't forget, Gavardio is quite young as well.
Yeah.
And when I look at both of them, I just think Gavardio hardly makes mistakes. He doesn't make any mistakes like that often. But with Udogie, he's got a lot of promise. He's got a lot of potential still. He's still very young. And don't forget, we tied this guy down to a brand new 4-year contract at the start of the season because we saw that potential in him. We wanted to get, we wanted to ward off all these other clubs and European football from pinching him off us. So, yeah, there is something about Udogie. And I think with time, the right coaching, bit more experienced, I think he will become one of the best right backs in the league, maybe in Europe. I honestly do think that. But at this moment in time, I don't think he's the best in the league. I think Gavardio is probably the best in the league. The fact that he's won the league proves that as well. And he's not made as many errors as Udogie this season. And let's not forget, it's his first season playing in a new system under Ange. Difference is, again, with Gavardio, playing under Pep is a different ball game,
I was going to say the same, mate.
It's
very hard to judge. Guardiola is a quality player, but you got to also understand, Pep also said this, that Tottenham play risky football. It's literally Russian roulette. If you ain't got the stomach for the football that Tottenham play, and that's why Postecoglou would said to the players, if you're not brave, get out of my club, basically, because it's the riskiest football. And if it works fantastic. And if it collapses, it's a disaster. That's his game. So when you're asking someone to be so exposed, I mean, this guy, Udogie, was playing number 10. Guardiola doesn't have to play number 10. So when we're talking about mistakes, also let's just put there's levels to this. If Udogie was in Man City, they still win the league.
I agree. I think he doesn't lose in the league, that's for sure. 100%. And the coaching as well on top of it. I think that's the point that Alex was making. Coming down to the coaching, will Postecoglou improve Udogie? And we'll only find out by next season because this is the first season we saw. It's a bit raw. But can he take him to the next level? I personally think a piece of competition will do the kid a lot of good. If he gets a player that he's fighting for his place, take him up another level. I think that's what improves Udogie, in my opinion. I think he's done a lot well with the ball in terms of going forward. I think defensively, I think that's where he needs to earn more stripes, in my opinion. Just in terms of concentration. He's got great recovery pace. Physicality is brilliant. Sometimes it takes a while to get into a game. You know, I look back at those big games, those top 6 games. I'm looking at Arsenal. I'm looking at Liverpool. For me, he passed a lot of those tests, but it was just like those first halves when I was like, oh, he was a bit shaky against Chelsea. Obviously, at home when he got sent off, that was a bit mad to me. But I'm just saying those little things are a world of good, and he will learn from those things. I think he needed that as well, to have that sending off and to make those mistakes. He's a young kid. Do you know what I mean?
I'll make one final point. If you watch Tottenham closely in all of our games, the amount of times that your doggy used to bail out our back line.
Oh, 100%.
Then Romero, Porro were nowhere there, and he was the last line of defense, coming and covering for bloody Pedro Porro, covering from the left-hand side when he's been playing number 10, coming across to cover Romero. You know, we got to just put some respect on the youth. You get me? Look, I'm not going to make any comments in relation to Pedro Porro, Romero. We know that they're there. The only thing I would say is that,
you see that, guys? Romano Ten Hag has stayed as United manager.
that is brilliant news. Brilliant news. I will say that I think Romero has the capabilities of having. I think he's got one more season at Spurs, and then he's off to Madrid.
Yeah, I think this is the make or break season. I agree, man. I think
I do agree with Deji. He did save Emerson's arse how many times against Bournemouth, and I was there watching it.
And also, can I say, in that first game against Arsenal, he picked up a booking really early on in the game.
Yeah, he did.
And to complete the game, he showed real maturity and a great mentality to not pick up another yellow and put a great performance in my opinion, against Saka. I thought he played amazingly well after picking up that yellow.
Yeah,
one of the best players on the pitch. So he has got it in him, and I think it's been a good learning curve for him. But for next season, I'd like to see a step up. You know, see what he's learned, see if he can, you know, move up a notch, so to speak.
Yeah.
Given that, one thing I don't want. Sorry, Ash. One thing I don't want is players to get too comfortable because he's now on this new contract, like 4-year contract. And I don't want players to get too comfortable. You know, I've got this contract now. I'm getting all this money coming in, X, Y, Z. You know, I want the players to be hungry, you know?
Yeah.
So
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I just want to see your doggy kick on from here. That's all. But yeah, moving on to Christian Romero. He had a lovely assist. I was going to show it, but I can't be asked now. But he had a lovely assist yesterday or last night, or whatever it was, when he put through what's his name? The winger. I forget his name now.
Di Maria.
Di Maria. He put through Di Maria. A little bit of footwork shifting from left foot onto his right foot and played him in, little through ball. Tidy little work by Romero, but that's what you're going to get from him. I think this season just passed, his discipline has improved. I think giving him the assistant armband helped him because he had to look after Mickey van der Ven, kind of schooling him. And I think them two really did complement each other throughout the season. I thought on the ball he was good because he sometimes played as a midfielder in terms of he literally went into the midfield, tried to do little through balls, tried to help in the attack as well. Sometimes he looked like a striker towards the end of the season. That's how involved he got. And that's the type of centre-backs I like. Reggie touched on players taking risks and being bold and standing up and counting themselves. And he was one of those players that not only was he vocal, but visually you could see that he was the player to step up in our back line. He was our most senior statesman in the back line. And he was the one shouting. In terms of like leadership, him and Vicario, I would say, both of them were talking, both of them were barking, and you kind of need that in the team, in the spine of the team anyway, I feel. And I think him coming off the back of the World Cup win, I think that helped him as well. And he knew what he needed to do. After that, sending off after Chelsea as well, I think he had to kind of like pattern up slightly and think, right, you know what, if I'm going to be this guy to, you know, take Spurs to the next level, I need some responsibility. And I've recently just read about how he loves the coach, how he loves Postecoglou, something about, I can't remember, something about a dream, like a dream or something along those lines. But proper is behind the manager. I know he wasn't really too fond of Conte, threatened of leaving as well underneath Conte, but I think this season he's had a better season, and I've also like in the air. I think aerially he's got. I think not even just in the air, like in the air he's improved, but in terms of goals, I think he's contributed the most goals out of any centre backs in the league. So that to me is speaking volumes, in my opinion. So yeah, man, big up Romero. Anyone disagree with Romero?
Sorry, I think he would thrive even more if we just gave him like a captain's armband. I just don't rate Son as a captain. You know, I love Son. I love everything about him, what he's done for the club and stuff. But I think if for me, Romero fits that mold better than Son, as in being a leader on the pitch. Some players thrive on that. You know, play better, having that responsibility. You said it yourself as well. You know, he's a player who loves the responsibility of, you know, being out there and dragging his team forward when he needs to, putting them, you know, getting them together on the pitch. I just think he's a better fit all around. I think. Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. I don't know what's going on. I've been away from YouTube for a while. A raid.
Leave you out, Ray, bro. It looks like from another channel.
Leave you out, Ray. Big up everyone, by the way. Brian Daigle, Ben Kaufman, everyone in the chat.
Daigle and the rest of them.
Danny Kiriakou.
And then the rest of them, yes. Big up Danny. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Box office. What are you telling me about Romero? What are your thoughts on him?
He's okay. Listen, I'm being harsh because I just think at the moment when I just know when I'm going to be excited. You know what I mean? I think for me he's been good. But for me, I'm very disappointed. Again, this is looking at the coaching side. I think we could have explored him being the number 6. I think we could have explored it in some occasions. I think we were struggling in certain games. We had Dragerson there, and we didn't use it. We didn't use that opportunity. And I think sometimes it for me, he was our best attacker sometimes. Like, I'd rather him have up front than some of the front players we have up front at the moment. That says a lot about our front players. Because I think I'll be honest with you, Van der Ven and Romero strike the ball better than our strikers right now.
Alex, if I wasn't in desperate need of a haircut, I'd have to say I'd have to take my hat off to you, mate. That is. Can we click this moment? Can we have Alex back? Jeez, where did that come from? You gave us. Hold on, let me. First and foremost, he's happy with a player. Crikey! I was like, what? I had to put my screen back on, and then you said absolutely something that was absolutely class and innovative. Romero in the number 6.
Well, I've been saying it, bro. I've said it before. I've said it on loads of other channels as well. I've got to be honest. I was sitting there thinking again. Pochettino would find this out. Pochettino would do it. Eddie Howe would do it. I think other managers who are coaches would do it, figure it out. And I'm sitting there thinking, this guy just wants to just go forward. So just play him number 6. Yeah. Just play him number 6. Yeah. And he's a better striker than some of the strikers that we've got at the moment. So I'm sitting there thinking, why can we not use him? But again, it's just, we have to do the system. We've got to do this system. And I'm just like, oh, for goodness sake, honestly. So we're doing this the whole season. Oh, I don't get it. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, centre back, cool. But I think it would have made his game better, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pep, yeah, Pep would do it as well, yeah. Because look at Stones. Look at John Stones. Yeah? Him playing that role.
It's a shout. And I hope Postecoglou is watching this. If you're looking for an assistant coach, you know what I mean? Our campaign on Spurs King TV is Alex for the job. At least I prefer Alex than Ryan Mason. No disrespect. But Alex, I'd rather have you as the kind of backup.
Number 2.
That's one of our coaches, by the way, Yadanak and him, because Chris Davis just left now.
Yeah.
So eat your heart out. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Honestly.
So yeah, so guys, I'm just gonna say we're happy with the three so far. I'm gonna move on to Porro.
He can do more. He can do so much more, this boy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This guy, I'm sorry. We overhyped this guy so much. I'm sorry. Yes, he's been good, but he was crap when Conte was in charge. I'm sorry. He needs to do much better. The end of the season shown you what he can do when he's allowed to do what he needs to be doing. That strike on that boy has got a strike on him. He's got a strike on him, yeah? But he's doing too much with his inverted role. He's not doing the things that he's actually good at.
Because he's not being played in he's a winger, really. He's not really a right back. He's a winger playing right back. That's the problem. But I would rather have Pedro Porro than Wan-Bissaka. Crikey.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, there's levels to this, but Porro, at least, you know, at one stage, Pedro Porro was up there with assists with Trent. And if this is the way the game is evolving, you know, then the likes of Wan-Bissaka, the likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of the kind of old school right backs, they're no more. That's one of the reasons why Arsenal fans shake their bum violently for Punch. And if those of you who don't know Punch, that's Ben White. He looks like Punch from Punch and Judy. Trust me, just Google it right now and you'll see. You know, that's why he does so well. So for me, I agree, but again, I think it's the player. So with Porro, he's supposed to do the kind of overlapping run, get the balls in the box. The problem is whoever's on Brennan Johnson is not adequate cover. Brennan Johnson can't get back, and Kulusevski was just dusty. So and I think that's why we saw some of the frailties in Porro, because actually our wingers ain't doing their job. I mean, anyway, we'll get into it. But Brennan Johnson looks like he's out of breath after 15 minutes.
Someone said he needs an asthma pump.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what you're dealing with. So Pedro Porro is having to do double work.
Pedro Porro, you know. All right, cool. So do you think we could improve on that position? Is anyone like saying...
He needs competition. He needs competition, like I said. But I'm fed up with these backups. You know what I mean? Like, okay, right. Let me just say this. Let me just say this, yeah? Right? I still think he's bang average. Emerson Royale, I'll give it to him. He has got a character on him because he taken a lot from the Tottenham fans, yeah? When everyone was saying, get him off the pitch, when they said, don't like him, booing him and everything else, he still kept on playing. He still kept a smile on his face. He still kept on playing. So for me, as a character, great. Yeah, like got to respect him. But unfortunately, football-wise, he's useless. Absolutely useless. Yeah. And another thing as well, yeah, because I'm sorry, someone said on a YouTube channel, and I think you can guess who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name, right? Who said Eric Dyer, right? He doesn't suit Spurs, but he suits Bayern Munich. Yeah. Where did Bayern Munich finish in the German league? Where did they finish?
Exactly.
Where did they finish? Third, yeah. So he really did well for them, didn't he? Yeah, third. And what did Bayern Munich win? Oh yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So Dyer did absolutely nothing again with no trophies, and that's it. So that's why you don't listen to nonsense from people that make stupid things like that. Yeah. So don't listen to that sort of nonsense, and that's it. Back to you, Smack. I'm done.
The only thing I would say, thanks, Alex. The only thing I would say, worryingly, although I'm not buying into that narrative, is that we did concede a lot of goals. And I do feel like, although Postecoglou is not one for a number 6, I think in order to stop the leakage, we're going to need a 6. And we're going to need to go and get that Edison fella from Atalanta. It needs someone of that ilk to play that role. Because for me, I know we're moving into the midfield now, but the options we have in the best patois that I can give today, that na make it.
Listen, like the funny thing is, I honestly think the system exposes them more than down to the actual player. We play so expansive, so open, that it's bound to happen that we leave those spaces open, especially down those channels. So, and that's where our fullbacks be. Do you know what I mean? And then in terms of the 6, as you said, you just said it raw. We don't really play with someone that just sits in that particular zone, he kind of commits all the players forward up the pitch, and he makes a lot of our play is quite central. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it looks like we're doing needless passes, and then what happens is, if we lose the ball, we're meant to win that ball back high up, and when that doesn't happen, teams are like, you know what? Instead of like us trying to pass through Spurs centrally, we're just going to fire that ball into the channels where the fullbacks should be, but they're not, and we're going to just run down those sides. And Chelsea was the first to do it. When we played that higher line, you saw them, they were trying to go over the top at first. It wasn't working. And then they figured it out. Oh, we need to do 2 or 3 passes and then go long and then hit the channels. And then that's how you play around Spurs. And so that's what Postecoglou's got to kind of work out. If he's not going to play a 6 and he's going to invert those fullbacks and have all that area exposed, we somehow need to kind of have a solution for that, because that's going to be our Achilles heel each and every time, unless we just outscore teams. But let's move into that midfield. And this is where the debate happens now, because guys, what do you think? Do we need, knowing that system, what I've just broken down, where do we go from here? Is it really the midfielders' fault that we're conceding these type of goals? If that's what Postecoglou says, he doesn't play with a 6. He doesn't really have a system like that. He just has 8s. He doesn't have 10s. Who's the first player that comes into this midfield, guys, in your opinion?
Ederson.
Ederson.
To be realistic as well. So you're also talking about players that we could bring in, right?
I'm going to bring a player in, but basically, I wanted to hear everyone else's view as well. Ederson apparently is linked to Liverpool. Like, he's actually, like, I looked at Ederson as well, and I thought, yeah, Ederson would be.
And you know, Van de Ven was linked to Liverpool.
Yeah, he was. But if I don't know, like, we'll see, innit? We'll see what happens if whether we're linked to. But guys, what do you think? Do you think is there a player you're looking at in that position that can fill that role that you think, the 6 or the 8, or an 8 that can defend and will help us run back to goal? Is there anyone you got in mind?
It's a tough one, because we was looking at obviously Palhinha from Fulham, but I think he's on his way to Bayern Munich. But someone like that who's a bit of an enforcer, we haven't really got that, you know, solid midfield player that can just sweep up everything at the back. Pass, just keep it simple. Just pass the ball. Just pass the ball. You don't need to do anything special. Just win the ball back and pass it. I don't know who really sticks out at the moment for me. But one thing I do know, after the Euros, player prices are going to go up. So it's going to be a premium.
100%. I'm going to mention a player because we've been looking at players, but as I said before, Ange doesn't really do the 6 thing. But a player I think we should go for, and other clubs are looking at him, so I'm not deluded on that one. But I looked at him last season. I thought we should go for him, and his name is Youssouf Fofana. Don't know if you guys heard from him. He currently plays in the national team at the moment. And he also
French, the French one. Okay.
Yeah, he plays at Monaco at the moment. And last season, we got 4 goals and 4 assists in League O. Valued at 30 million, but I think he's only got a season left. 25 years old. When I looked at him, he was like 23, 24. But he reminds me, because of his stature, of like an older Sarr, like what Sarr could be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, he currently plays. He's keeping out Camavinga and them, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's Real Madrid quality. That's top players that he's keeping out. But yeah, he's played in the central midfield, defensive midfield as well, what we want, and on the right side of midfield. And the reason why I said those 3 positions, because that helps us with transition when we play out from the back and we need to progress the ball. Certain times you need to play it from your fullback, so he can drop into that area, or maybe he could protect the fullbacks when he's running back to goal. And then also, as I said, as a midfielder, box to box, he's able to get up and down the pitch. He's got an engine on him. And imagine if you've got 2 Sarrs, that kind of solves a lot of problems, in my opinion. He came from Monaco, as I said. He's at Monaco at the moment. He cost him 15 million when he did make the transfer over. Yeah, his contract ends in 2025, guys. So we're in 2024 next season. He's got a year left. He's not re-signing a new deal. He hasn't signed anything new at the moment. Predominantly right-footed. His actual home country is Mali, so yeah, that's where his parents are from, or where he's from. He's been in the deployed of a system on the 3-1-4-2. There he is. So he's played the lone six, not in a double pivot, so slightly different to Onana. Everyone's like looking at Onana. He plays in a double pivot. Now this guy plays in a single pivot, similar to what Paulinho, even though Paulinho's quite Paulinho, shall I say, is really good. He played in the double pivot as well, but this guy's played in the single pivot. And then he's also played in a flat back 4-4-2. So he's familiar with a back four system, not just a back three system behind them. So he knows how to play multiple systems in that sense as well. So he could fit that mold. There's his heat map. So that just shows the engine, bro. Like, look at him. He's everywhere, bro. He's like Marmite. He's like, no, it's like mustard, bro. Sorry.
He looks like a German engine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
All over the gap.
Yeah, I don't mind the German, bro.
I have to say, we need to. I'm gonna probably send him a little WhatsApp message to Postecoglou. He needs to watch this show because it's refreshing to see Spurs fans not regurgitating what they read on Spurs Media TV. That's what we should be doing. We should be going out and helping our club with gems. Do you know what I mean? This player looks like a potential gem.
Yeah, man. No, literally, like. We need players like when our team loses the ball, someone that can cover the fullbacks. That's what we need. Central areas we play heavy along. So helping out the centre backs every now and then, not just Mickey van der Ven, every day. Not every day you doggy. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Here's his FBF statistics. Statistically, it's against the top 5 leagues. Sorry, top 7 leagues, in fact. And these is his statistics per 90. So non-penalty goals at 4 other midfielders in his position. He's in the 79th percentile, really high. Non-penalty goals as well. So he's not taking as many penalties. The goals that he scores, those are quite high in that bracket and for the position that he plays. And remember, he's not playing as a 10. He's not playing as an 8 per se. He's normally playing further back. Do you know what I'm saying? He's normally playing as defensive mid. So to get these type of stats, like total shots, that's quite impressive. He's obviously clearly getting up and down, even down to assists, like in the green, 71%. Expected goals, assisted goals, still at a decent level. Shot creation actions, I always look at really good shot creation actions there. Passes attempted, he passes quite a bit as well. Pass completion could be higher, but 81.2% is not bad. It's nothing to be sniffed at. Do you know what I mean? 81.2% passing, taking risky passes.
The fact that he can also operate on the right can sort of help us when Porro sort of gets forward in those attacking positions.
100%.
He can then, that could solve a little problem there for us as well.
Because competition to Sarr and Basuma.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's still got another spare player that can help out in the midfield with one sort of box to box. So
facts.
Yeah.
Progressive carries, progressive passing, risky, like progressive passes are risky because you're passing forward a lot of the time. 95% now, guys. That's really high. Successful take-ons, he's doing that, and that's a part of Ange's system. You need to break the lines from deep. So if he's breaking the lines from deep, that's going to help our attacks, and then it's going to look like we're a counter-attacking team, even though we're a progressive possession side. Him being able to like break low blocks, that's going to help us as well. Touches in the penalty area, it's decent as well. Progressive passes received, so his first touch in a dangerous area, he's able to do that as well. Tackle, he's winning the ball up. 52% are.
Bro, we can't ignore the pass completion rate though. 40%.
Say that again.
40% pass completion rate.
That's pretty low.
Where are you reading that? 40%.
It's on there, bro. It's in the middle.
I'm reading the 81%, the 81.2%.
What's the 40 about?
That's compared to other midfielders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's not like, what do you call it, an elite passer in it, like a Zubamende type. Do you know what I'm saying? But 81.2%, that tells me he's risky with his passing. Do you understand? So 81.2%,
right in them basically.
It's not low. It's not low. If it was like 60%, I'll be worried. But it's comparing them to like the elite midfielders. Do you know what I'm saying? 81.2% is still good for passing per 90. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Basuma is obviously 93%, but he's not, in terms of like long balls and switches of play, he might not be doing that as much as this midfielder, if that makes sense. And that's what.
But he wouldn't really need to do that when you've got other players like Maddison, etc. You know what I mean? For me, all he would need to do is just win the ball and get it to Maddison, get it to the attacking players. You know what I mean?
I hear that, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen Maddison try to do balls from deep and being blocked and cut out. Do you know what I'm saying? I've seen Maddison try to do the outside of his boot passes around a player, and it's not worked. So you haven't seen Maddison switch to play, do balls over the top. I've seen Maddison drop deep, and those passes haven't connected. I would prefer to have Maddison higher up the pitch in that kind of offensive 8 role, and him kind of doing the balls over the top to him, and then Maddison getting on the end of things and then having a key pass or an assist or getting a shot from outside the box, as opposed to always playmaking from deep. Do you know what I mean? If you got someone like him who can kind of do those balls over the top or switch the play or open the pitch up, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying, 81.2%, I've seen worse. That's what I'm going to say. Tackles could be better, but interceptions he's really good at. That means he can read the game and he can win those balls. But I hear what you're saying, Hasto. At the same time, I do hear what you're saying, bro.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If he can actually, you know, hit those passes, the switches, and everything else, it does mean that we can push Maddison further up the pitch where it can be more lethal.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah, with Maddison, we saw last season how deep he was dropping. You know what I mean? He was dropping way deep. Like, I know Bernardo Silva does it at Manchester City as well, dropping in deep.
Yeah, to pick off the backs and fullbacks.
Like, pick up the ball, you know, drive the ball forward, ping the ball, whatever. But for me, I just think two different types of players, Maddison and Bernardo Silva, you know.
Yeah,
but,
I hear it. Yeah. I hear it, man. I just picked out a video scenario where it was an actual game and against a team we all know, a certain team called Arsenal. He played against them, so I thought, let me just do a clip where you just show him against them, because we're obviously going to play them at some point. But yeah, here he is winning the ball back, just keeping it simple and blocking out a corner there, winning the ball back from Odegaard, shielding it, fencing them off, pushing them off the ball. Like they're not there. Physicality, the height of him, look how big he is. An enforcer, someone that you want in the middle. First touch, not bad. 3 players around them. Keeps it calm, doesn't panic. Through the lines, he's able to pass there. Holds off another a player there. Shielding the ball, gets the ball again, finds another player. So someone in that midfield wants it on the half turn, not shy, and passes in between the lines, finds that ball into their player. The player should really do better there. But that through ball there, that's what I'm talking about. Can he do a key pass? Can he do a through ball into the forward line? Yes, he can. Can he get into offensive positions? Yes, he can as well, and be a threat. He can. And there is scoring, getting on the end of things, getting the goal. Here he is again, trying to break the lines by his running off the ball. So again, is running off the ball, blocking the header there. You see him blocking the corner. First touch, you see that little Cruyff turn, then switches the play over the ball. See the quality there he's got. Again, he's able to come across, help his fullback out, stick his leg out and stop a cross from coming in. Bullying Odegaard there, helping his team there. Again, looking for balls over the top, trying to switch the play. There he is, getting that ball, winning that ball, trying to win that ball back, driving the team up, being a driving force through the midfield, finding another through ball into the channel, and then a ball across the box, and they're unlucky to score there. Again, a nice little delicate header into team, good positioning, helping on that right-hand side and able to travel, unlucky there. Little 1-2s there, little triangles he's making, so he's got good little awareness, good little game intelligence, shoulder to shoulder, barging these Arsenal players off, showing them who's boss and just showing his muscle there. Like another top physical specimen, big player, good engine, able to help in the transition, help to get forward as well, and gets his shot off there, a little deflection, and testing the goalkeeper there again. Again, running those channels as well, able to add something there, sticking his leg out, winning the tackle, not bad in there, trying to win a free kick for his team. And then here he wins the actual penalty and takes it himself and puts it in the back of the net. Here I've compared him against some players. So he's shooting here of Enzo Fernandez, Papa Matasar, Conor Gallagher, shots per 90. He's not bad. He's decent. And the next clip I've got here, possession. Again, not bad. Like he attempts those take-ons. more than Gallagher. Obviously, Ramirez is just super high, but I thought I'd compare them anyway. Gallagher is beating him on tackles and interceptions, but again, Gallagher's playing slightly higher up in my opinion. I know he can play the 6, Gallagher can, but I felt Gallagher's best work was higher up the pitch when he had Casado behind him and Cucurella was behind him as well, and that made Gallagher a bit more offensive, a bit more effective winning the ball high up. But again, Fofana, through balls, again, I showed through ball clips. He's up there with Ramirez and Fernandez in terms of intelligence. And again, GA last season, it's not super effective. It's not like crazy numbers, but again, decent numbers. And I think it would add decent competition to what we already have in terms of Sarr and press the wrong button. Damn it. Yeah, but in terms of Sarr and Basuma, guys, what are your thoughts on them, man?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly the sort of player that we need, because we just, for me, for as well as Sarr started the season, sort of drifted off a little bit, and Basuma dropped off way too much like through the season. You know, again, starting off well, we thought, this is the Basuma that everyone was, you know, expecting, and then he dropped off as well. But they're not, no matter what you say, they're not the enforcer type midfielders that we need. And I think you could, I was saying this from last season, we need that, you know, proper defensive midfielder, win the ball, shield, you know, screen that back four and get the ball forward, you know. So for me, I think if the money's right, we'll go for him. But, you know, again, it all depends how much we've got to spend. If Ange wants him.
Give you some context, as I said, in transfer market, they said 30 mil, but he's just got 1 year left of his contract and he's not looking to renew. That sounds like Levy all over, bro, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah, it sounds like it, but again, it depends on how Levy wants to play it. Is he going to haggle over a few million quid? You know, I know he's not going to renew his contract, but we also know how Levy operates as well. You know, and the penny pinching method doesn't always work. So this is what I mean. We don't know what to expect. Everything seems like it's the right fit in terms of price, value, the player and the position that he's playing in, his quality. But again, it's what tactics Levy wants to play in the transfer market. That's the issue. We don't know how Levy's going to operate, and that's part of the problem.
How much did we spend last season in terms of capital, in terms of transfer market?
200 mil on it.
About 200 mil. Do you think we will spend something similar?
Yes.
I mean, that was without Champions League as well, right?
Yeah, we're going to spend something similar.
Because that's another season we've had in the stadium, to be fair. So there's a possibility. I'm not saying he will spend 200 mil, but I'm just saying, obviously, we're going to sell some players. I don't know. I'm looking maybe like between 60 and 70 mil. I reckon we could possibly raise. And then on top of that, I think maybe 120, 130. So around 200, I think, or just under 200, I think we could possibly spend. Let's call it 200 mil. And if that guy is 20 to 30 mil, I think we could get that one over the line personally. But I'm just trying to look at realistic options. I'm not saying the club are going to do it, Levy's going to do it. I'm under no illusion of how tight and how stiff our chairman moves and how slow he moves as well. But I just thought I'd throw that.
Is there a year left on his contract?
He said that there's no, he hasn't renewed his contract, so he's just like 1 year left.
So there's 1 year left, so he can go for free next season.
He could go for free next season. Yeah, he could go free.
So it also depends if Monaco are going to play hardball and say, actually, this is what we want, etc., etc. Like they could turn around and play hardball and be willing to lose the player on a free for next season.
They could do.
He's a good player. I think he looks good. I think he looks good from what I see there. I'm confused about that one, to be honest with you. I'm confused that there's not that much. He looks like a Lazaro Diarra.
Lozano Diarra, yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of him.
Yeah, good shout,
to be
man.
honest with you. But yeah, I'm a bit confused why. If he has a good World Cup, that would be a problem.
Yeah, Euros, you mean?
Euros.
I think this is what I was saying. I think we need to like sort of operate we needed to identify some players before the Euro starts, because we all know how prices get driven up. If he has a good campaign, obviously other clubs are going to be interested. There's going to be clubs sniffing around. I'm not personally, guys. I'm not a big fan of buying players off the back of a tournament, because we all know players can have a great tournament, but then just plateau and just, oh, it's not the same player that I saw in the tournament or in the World Cup or in the Euros or whatever. For me, there's got to be more to a player than just him having a good tournament, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at his club. What I just showed you, his club level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I say that as well. I think that's the thing as well. I'm just saying on the back of what I've seen just there at the moment. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm only just going on what I've just seen now.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know.
It's not a lot. So
I don't know. I mean, I'm a bit confused why there's not that much hype around him by what you just showed me now. But I think there's got to be something about the character then, I guess, then, because at the moment I don't hear. That's the first time I've heard of that player.
I noticed that from last season. To be fair, I was like, because Højbjerg's been linked away from our club for a long time, and I know the club's policy is like a one in, one out kind of thing. So if Højbjerg's our number 6 at the moment, I'm just thinking, right, you know what? That's a player. Supposing Conor Gallagher, like he's saying, he's digging his heels in. He's saying, look, I run my contract down, and I'm happy to stay at Chelsea. Then I'm thinking, right, in terms of mobility, but in terms of a player that we can get that's 24, 25 of age, he could be one we could consider. But at the moment, just going back to the who we putting in there, guys. If not Fofana, are we saying Basuma? Are we saying Bentancur? Are we saying Sarr? Who are we saying in that number 6 role, or the midfield 8 role in the middle? Who's going?
Look, I think you put forward a very persuasive argument. I think the fact that people have not gone in for him, maybe they've just not noticed him. I think that the things about these scouts is they tend to flock around the same type of bloody player. And then once one player gets linked, then everybody gets linked, you know. And, you know, case in point, Diaz. I think he's the sort of player we should be getting in our midfield. Him or Onana. I know we were linked with Onana earlier in the season. So a Fofana or Onana or any sort of in that midfield would be all right. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, no, what's your name? Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, but yes, I think someone of that ilk, even if we don't know who that person is what Tottenham need if we are to be serious. We need our own N'Golo Kante, you know, Lassana Diarra, all of that stuff. But for me, Gallagher is not the person that we want in that midfield, because when I see Conor Gallagher, I see a Kenyan marathon runner in the form of Moses Kiptanui, who used to run the steeplechase. That's about it, yeah. Conor Gallagher.
Hey, you got Kiptanui, you know. Hey,
no, you should call him the below average Jordan Henderson. That's what you should call him. You know what I mean?
That's really what it is. So for that point, we definitely don't want CGI. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. But if you can find someone of that ilk, I don't care who it is, bring them in.
So guys, who are we putting in that midfield, bro? Are we putting Basuma?
I think put Fofana.
You put Fofana?
Fofana gets in the head of Basuma. Basuma has been listening to our streams. I've criticised Basuma for his wardrobe. And the fact that he's been spotted in Kensington several times buying Louis Vuittons when he should be training. And I have to say, since the season's ended, he has systematically posted every 2 days that he's at Hotspur Way training for the new season. Now, I'm not going to start shaking my bum violently for this brother, but he is doing the right thing. In his off-season, he's working, just like Richarlison. They're working. So for me, that is showing the right attitude, because it means that Basuma wants to come back stronger. But based on what I've just seen and based on Basuma's season, we need to be bringing in another midfielder. And so, therefore, I would like to give that place to a Fofana.
Hass, what do you think? Because obviously we was linked with Gallagher, as Deji said, and box office has said, but we've also been linked with another player called, and I know he's not a 6, but we've been linked with him because Ange wants 8s, and it's a certain MGW, Morgan Gibbs White. What do you think?
Yeah, do you know what? I think Morgan Gibbs White is probably the best player at Nottingham Forest. He's the one that. What's that?
You think we got the wrong lighty in terms of like Johnson?
Who's that lighty? Who's that lighty? Who's that?
Hey,
yeah, I said it from before. You know, look, he's gone to Nottingham Forest and he's done really well at Nottingham Forest. I like what I see. He's strong, he's powerful, he can drive the ball forward. He's not a 6. Let's make no bones about that. But you know, he's one of those players that, you know, he's got an eye for a goal. He can pass the ball. He's got a lot of good qualities about him. I would say yes, but again, I just want a pure 6. You're saying to me, Ange wants 8s. I just think with the way that we play, we've got to have one player that's holding. Well, at least one player in that midfield that's holding. For me,
yeah,
Morgan Gibbs White is a good option to have. You know, in a system where we can bring players in, you know, on a rotational basis. But yeah, I mean, Gallagher's a pipe dream. He's not going to come to Spurs. He's made that clear.
Did you say he's a pipe dream?
Yeah, I don't think he'll come to Spurs.
He's not a pipe dream though. He's a nightmare.
However you want to put it, bro. Yeah.
Different one there, yeah.
Yeah, not that sort of pipe dream, bro.
Yeah. I like to say, mate.
Yeah.
No pipes, bro. There's no pipes.
I'm challenging I'm challenging CGI to a 1v1 this summer if he's got the kahunas.
All right. On the pitch, yeah? What, 5 side or?
I don't rate him at all, man.
5 side or 11?
I don't rate him, man.
But who we putting in midfield? Serious talk. Who's dropping in there? Is
Madders?
No, in the 6 though. I'm talking about in the 6. In the middle.
I'm saying we don't have anyone in the squad to play the 6, in my opinion, in our opinion. So therefore, let's bring in an unknown. Fofana for me represents an unknown, but it can't be Basuma, Bentancur.
Yeah,
it can't be. So
for me, what do you think? What do you think?
I think the player that you just had a minute ago from
Monaco. I'm gonna put him down.
I'll put him in.
Hey, box office is on form tonight, you know.
Well, no, because I'm not really that fussed about the midfield at the moment. I just at the moment I can't. I'm not really great with my midfielders anyway because I don't think they're all that great now. To be honest with you, there's a midfielder that's out there that really I can jump at and say, yeah, I want him.
I have one. I think Mats Wiefer is a top player. I like Mats Wiefer a lot. But
you know who I would have liked to have seen? Yeah, someone like a Barella.
But he's not coming to Spurs, bro.
No. Of course he's
not. Yeah, but that type of player.
Someone in that mold, who's just class. Like he's just classy, man. He's just so good.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I agree, man. He's a top player. I think
my last 2 suggestions quickly because I know we're conscious of time and stuff.
Yeah.
I would say a fully fit Bentancur has to start for Spurs. And I would say Madders. If Madders could replicate the form he had in the first 10 games of the season, then there's no one better in that position.
Do you guys? But before I put it down, do you guys agree with that? Bentancur.
I agree with him to a point. I think Maddison needs to improve. I think also Bentancur needs to improve. But he's growing on me because I think he's got the arrogance.
Okay.
And I think Tottenham Hotspur need arrogance in our midfield. I think he's got arrogance in abundance. I think he doesn't like losing, right? He's got attitude because he's gave it to Conte, and yeah, I think he was good once upon a time as well. But yeah, I would say I tend to agree with him, Deji, on that one. To be honest,
in terms of arrogance, both of them are quite arrogant, aren't they? Maddison concedes; he definitely believes in himself. He's got something like a chip on his shoulder, definitely. And Bentancur, when he came off against Man City, man started kicking up the chair, kicking up the sofa, kicking up everyone. Like I said, raw, he's moving mad. But that's the passion in it. That's the South American inside.
He's got in abundance, mate. I saw it against Fulham when we were losing 3-0. He didn't like it at all. He was not happy at all. You could see it in his face, and he's gave it to Conte as well. When Conte has given it to him, he's giving it back.
Yeah.
He's giving it back.
As long as he's not pulling Hassam Ghali, then it's all good.
Well, yeah, but I think it's not the difference between him and Richarlison. Richarlison sulks. Yeah, I'm not gonna go on to the personal stuff. Don't worry about that. No, I'm not gonna get into that. No, we know what's happening there, so I'm not going there. Talk about the football, and he sulks, and then he starts bad mouthing his manager. Yeah, so I know what he's all about. You know what I mean? Yeah, the football side of him. You know what I mean? Not the personal side of him. But like Bentancur, I don't think that's him. You know what I mean? I think he's grown on me. He's grown on me. Yeah, that's nice. That's me being nice.
He's a quality player.
Yeah, even though I still call him a Juventus reject, more than Kulusevski's a Juventus reject, as far as I'm concerned, because he's happy in life. Don't get me started in that. Don't get me started in that one. But yeah, that's for me. Yeah, do Bentancur and Maddison.
That looks like a scary midfield. That looks like a pretty scary team, to be fair.
Before we throw Maddison though. We've been linked to a certain player. I don't know if we're going to get him, but I just want to throw it out there just for the debate, for the show, and we can debate where he can play as well. But we've got a player in we're linked to from Crystal Palace, and he goes by the name of Eze. Eze, yeah. Now he can play well for Palace. He played in the front three, right?
Yeah.
Alongside Mateta and Elise.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have kind of profiled him as more of a attacking, more of a 10. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And basically, he plays on the left where Maddison plays. So, are we happy to say Maddison keeps his position, or would you throw an Eze in there?
Is it where Maddison plays, or is it not where Son plays?
Well, this is it. This is why I want to have the debate, because do we keep Son on the left and play him there on the wing? Where he has played for South Korea and looked quite decent as well, and how he finished the season as well for Spurs. He was on the left and he was the left wing. Or do we put an Eze at the left wing, or do we put Eze in the attacking midfield and play him just behind the front three?
I think what Eze does is he brings versatility to the camp. I think if Son is injured, he can go out left. If Maddis is injured, he can play the number 10. And I think that's the sort of versatility that we need at our club. What I am saying, though, which is an unpopular opinion, is that Eze needs to come in because we need to prepare for Son's exit. Son will be 33 years old this year. And if you guys think he's going to be able to run at the pace he's running for 3 more seasons, then I'm prepared to do the same job for a fiver week in, week out. So the point I'm trying to make is it's an interesting one. I think for the purposes, I've never understood why we don't play Son on the right.
That's what I don't remember against Chelsea. He scored that goal.
Yeah, I just don't know.
He used to play there a lot.
Yeah, stick him on the right and stick Buddy Eze on the left. But what I do know though is I do not want to see Son at number 9.
Okay. Guys, do we have any caveats? Anyone disagree?
Yeah, I don't know. Ideally, look, the problem you have is that Son's done okay on that left-hand side. And we don't really want to sort of push him back to the middle again as the striker. But, for me, Maddison, if he's, anything like the Maddison that started the first 10 games on fire, he starts every day of the week. I think Eze, if he was to come along, is he going to be happy to sit on the bench? I don't think so, because we'll probably be spending quite a bit of money on him. So he's got to be a starter for me. So there's nothing to suggest. There's nothing to say that we couldn't start Maddison and Eze together. It's just trying to fit them in, which is difficult. Can Eze operate on the right-hand side, for instance?
I think he can. I think he's that good.
I mean, he's that versatile, Imagine if you had like Maddison, Eze on the right, Son on the left, and a striker of your choice, whoever we bring in.
Yeah, I think that works.
So what we saying? Do we want Madison on the right? Yeah, and
No, Maddison.
Oh, Eze on the right.
Eze on the right. Sorry, do you want Eze on the right and Son on the left and
Yeah.
Madison in the midfield? Okay,
Yeah, I think Eze's leagues above Johnson. Put it that way.
right. I'm with you guys now.
I'm quite happy for Johnson to go out on loan.
Right. What about off the bench? No, not even off the bench to cause havoc.
Nah.
I think off the bench, right, he's proved that he can come on and upset defenses in the last 20 minutes where they're tiring, legs are gone a bit. He can give that extra bit of pace, but it's just his end products, bro. It's just the
He's
end
dusty.
product. Yeah, he's worse than Dusty, bro. Come on, let's be honest.
I mean,
I'm not sold on Eze I'm not sold on Eze right now. I'm not being funny. I'm sorry. I take Elise all day long. No, I'm sorry. I take Elise all day long. I'm sorry. I think Elise's the problem with Eze, right? You know what? I see it. But I see more killer instinct in Elise. I'm sorry. He's much younger. Eze needs to be doing it now. He's in his prime now, right? I wouldn't have Son there.
Let's look.
If we could have Elise and Eze, I'll take it.
Now let's look at it. Michael Elise, yeah. All right. I don't know if I'll share my screen. Hold on. Michael Elise. Let me share my screen if I can.
Elise is a bad man. If we could get him, or I agree with Mickey or Chiesa. Chiesa, I like. It's Chiesa at Juve.
Maybe
Michael Elise scored 10 goals, guys.
Who?
Yeah. Michael Elise has scored 10 goals.
He's a bad man. If we could get Eze and Elise for 160 mil, it's worth it.
It's not going to happen. It's either one or the other. I don't think we're not that type of club. But I'm just saying, 10 goals. That's what Elise got, yeah? And then he missed 3 big chances. How many assists did he got? He got 6 assists. So 16 goals, 16 goal contributions, yeah? So 10 goals. Remember that. 10 goals, yeah? Elise got, right?
Yeah.
Remember that, yeah? 10 goals. Let's go to Eze. Proof's in the pudding, isn't it? Eze.
I still like Eze, though. Regardless.
You're not linked to Elise. We're linked to Eze. That's the reason why I put him in. I know what our preference is as fans, but I'm just throwing it out there, isn't it? So can you see that? Eze's got 11 goals. Yeah. So, like, I hear what man are saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Because in terms of like playmaking, I've always said that I think Elise is that guy. In terms of playmaking, like Elise is that guy. But Eze got 4 assists, not far off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not even just about that, though. It's not about that. You know me. I've got respect for you. You know I've got respect for you, Ashmatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you talk about stats, you're not this FIFA enthusiast. I know you're not.
I'm not talking about XG. I'm just talking about goals, like tangible things, goals and assists. I didn't go to no other.
Fair enough.
I didn't do XG. I didn't do none of that. I didn't do no positioning.
I just see the killer. I just see more killer in this guy. I just think you put the right people around this guy, he will blow.
Palace fans,
I think Eze. I mean, at least he's got a higher ceiling.
I think he'll blow. You put Tony in this side.
Eze ain't that guy. Like I'm just
Palace fans would say
the thing is, I think the thing that I've really is getting on my nerves with these Tottenham fans, yeah, and again they don't know their history, yeah. Right, and if you watch the Man United team, this is the thing with when I've been chomping a bit to do something on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, yeah, because I'm actually trying to do something better with Mr. Box Office TV. Let's just say that, yeah, right. I wanted to mention this, yeah, right. You don't need players that actually get on with each other. You don't need it. Man United back in the 90s proved it, yeah. If you go and watch, yeah, let's talk. What was it? It's the football with Gary Neville and Andy Cole. He explains it perfectly. Yeah. Basically, it's in there. Instinct. In there. Yeah. They don't have to actually get on with each other. Sometimes it's just natural, telepathic. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'll tell you now, You put Ivan Toney. You put Ivan Toney, right? Who's got arrogance. You put Elise, arrogance. They won't talk to each other. But I'll tell you now, they'll play well together, won't they? Because they'll sit there and say, I will show you. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. You know what I mean?
All right, let's stay with that, bro. Tony, who do you guys want up front? Like, Tony's available. Would you guys take Tony up front? And I want to start with Haas. What do you say? Who's your number 9 that you linked with? Obviously, Jimenez and Tony at the moment. Who are you taking? Jimenez, Tony, or Richarlison?
I think Tony showed that he's more than capable in the Premier League. Jimenez, he's shown it in the Eredivisie, but I'll take someone who's proven that he can do it in the Premier League over Jimenez. And I think out of the two, it'll probably be Ivan Toney. The guy's he's a beast, you know. It brings a lot of good qualities. He can head the ball. He can hold up the ball. He can pass the ball. He's got a great shot on him. Yeah, I'd just take Tony, man. It's got to be Tony. Big tone. Tiger tone.
Tiger tone, yeah. Gambling tone. Yo, Dad, what are you telling me?
Yeah, I agree with Haas, man. I would take Tony if I had the choice. The other thing is there was a comment by Phil Coyes, I think.
We got Phil Coyes, man.
And Phil said something that I've been screaming out. I say offer Crystal Palace 160 mil. Take Eze, Elise, and Mateta. I think that can work because the three of them.
Taking a whole front three off a team.
If you offer Crystal Palace 160 mil, they are completely shameless. They will take the money.
Bro,
no.
Deji, you do realize you're just completely deading up a team's front three, yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, that wouldn't happen, bro.
It's called
Hey,
way.
But on the other hand, I do think Tony can do a job, and in this team, he's going to get goals. You've got Bentancur, Madders, Eze, and Son. He's going to score for fun. He'll get 20 plus goals in this team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I know Tony's a risk. Ivan Toney is a risk. I'm not disputing that. I'm not avoiding that answer. Yeah, he could be an Ndombele, he could be a Dalman, he could be a problem. Yes, he could. But the problem is we've got too many nice people on our team. I'm sorry. I'm done with this. I'm done with this nice players. Oh, we need nice characters in our team who are likable. How's that work out for Tottenham? No trophies. No trophies. Yeah? Aubameyang was not a great character. Still won trophies for Arsenal though, didn't he? Yeah? Roy Keane was not a great character. Didn't like him. Still won trophies. You know what I mean? Teddy Sheringham, people didn't like him. Did not like him. Still won trophies. Still a class striker. I'll take him any day of the week. All the our strikers all day long. Yeah? The strikers that people are saying that, we absolutely love. Oh, we need to give them a chance. Yeah, because Ange Postecoglou is going to do some magic with them. Magic in my arse. I've never heard so. That's a waff in my life. A guy can't even coach a bus, brother, let alone a bloody team. Forget that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Get these players. Yeah, that don't need training. They don't need to be do a system because they'll just say, well, I know how to play football and I'll show it. That's what they do. That's how they do it in the 90s. And don't tell me, and don't get that big preach on telling me, oh, it's changed. Yeah. Don't tell me that. Yeah. Preaching to me to give me time. Yeah. When he's a Liverpool fan, he should know his place. Yeah. Winning trophies. You know what I mean? Not at our club. Back to you, Ashmatic. Done.
All right. So we agree that, it sounds like it's unanimous. Everybody wants Tony in. So I'm going to put that in right now into the squad builder. Obviously, everyone in the comments has different opinions, but that's Spurs for you, right? We can't please everyone, right? So I'm just saying, look, obviously we need depth, but if that was the starting lineup, yeah, of this opening game, I don't know who we're going to play because I
hope Arsenal's our opening game of the season, personally. But we get the fixtures next week.
Yeah, it's next week, the 19th. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's not a bad team. That's a top four. That's a top four side.
Yeah, I was gonna say box office. That finishes 6th or 7th if we were to get those,
I think we're competing with top 4.
Yeah.
We're competing with top 4, yes.
Haas, what you say? Would you be a little bit more thinking Spurs are a bit more serious if we saw that team? Or
We only need 3
Yeah,
players.
I think we're pushing it close with this team. But again, you know what it is, Ash. This starting 11, all good, but it's keeping that squad, that starting 11 fit. You need players that like you need squad players in there as well that are just as good or at a capable level. That's the problem we have.
We've got Basuma Sarr on the bench.
Okay, so we've got
Johnson on the
Bissouma,
bench.
Sarr. What about all the other positions? Defensively, Dragusin.
Van der
You-
Ven can go left back if necessary if your doggy gets injured. We haven't got cover for Porro though.
what we're saying, Richarlison, Tony. But you see, it's all these players that come in like Johnson, Richarlison, Kulusevski. You know,
I
Just
mean,
don't compete.
you make a good point, and we are linked to a player. I'm going to quickly show you who we're linked with.
we've got Timo Werner as well.
We're actually linked with a fullback. This could be competition for Porro, and his name is Vanderson. He comes from Monaco. He's 22 years old. Plays for Brazil. He's played as a right back, a right wing back, a right midfielder, and a right winger. So he's played in multiple positions and multiple systems. Also, his contract runs out a little bit longer. Again, in Monaco, plays for Monaco, another Monaco player. Played in that 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 as well. Again, you can see his heat map. He's all over that right-hand side. Can invert as well. So he can do the system. Maybe adds competition to Porro, gives us the depth. There's his FBF rep. I won't go through it too much, but his tackling is quite decent. Well, it's very good. Tackling's really good. Interceptions are good. Blocks are there. But yeah, let's quickly look at him real quick. There he is. This is finished like a Porro, good finisher. Able to find the corners. That's what you want getting on the end of things as well. Hitting it into the bottom corner. And again, getting to the byline, providing assists, finding his teammates, finds a nice little dink ball diagonally into a player, gets a header, gets to the byline, cuts it back, able to finish there, sliding challenge, good volley there as well. Gets on the end of things. Another nice little diagonal ball into a striker for a header. Volley first time, top bins. Gets another cross into a header. A little assist, little cushioned header. So yeah, not bad there on the attacking front. Defensively, goes to ground there. Is able to do good recovery runs. He's got a lot of pace. Looks like an upgrade on an Emerson Royale, if I'm being honest. And so if we can add that little bit of quality in that position, and he's able to add competition to a Porro, make Porro sweat a little bit and say, look, I want your position, then maybe we can build a bit of depth in that position. But as you can see, defending wise, quite good. Again, in that transition, he's able to hold on to it. First touch is good, can travel with it. Good challenge there again, wins the ball back, stays on his feet this time. First time, little Cruyff turn, goes in the inside, can beat players. Going on the outside there again, reads the game, does an interception, stops the winger from progressing. First touch on the half turn, he's able to turn out there, goes in the inside there, wins the ball back, keeps it simple, wins the ball back high up again. Well, you get the drift of what I'm saying. You've got a guy there who can assist, he can cross the ball, he's good at holding on to it, can play in the midfield a little bit better than Emerson Royale, maybe adds a different type of element to what Porro does in terms of the midfield, wins the ball high up in the pitch, and is able to win the ball back and keep it simple and give it to his teammates, stop attacking returns, and helps us to push up the pitch. So a Brazilian with something that you kind of associate with actual Brazilians, like, I'm not going to say Cafu, but, an old school Brazilian, someone that can actually do it. But didn't get many minutes last season. But again, there's his shots. His shots are not bad. Expected goals, win the ball back high up. He does that. Attacking third, he's not bad. So in terms of competition, he wouldn't be a bad fit for Spurs in that position. So it is a player that we have been linked with this week. That's the reason why I thought I'd bring him up. Vanderson, Brazilian, plays at Monaco at the moment. And if we don't get Emerson does go out, then it's a player we could possibly look at. So, but you do make a good point, Has. We do need to get some of these players out and you know, get competition and start building the squad up from here. Do you know what I mean?
Because essentially that's what happened last season, right? Because our first 11 was firing, you know, first 10 games, bang, 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 and then couple of injuries. Maddison, the biggest one, out, and you saw what happened when he come out of that team. It was just like we had nothing.
As you mentioned, Truda, if you watched 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I did a video on him. You probably all watched it as well. So, what are we doing here, man? I know about Truda. Truda's captain of Fire Knights, 24 years old, man.
I think he can play centre back as well.
He can play centre back. He can play defensive midfielder. You're talking to the transfer king, guys. What's going on?
But
this is a player that we're looking at.
Play in different positions, though. We need players that can play in different positions, though. I think it's clear now. I think it's clear.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. You need players that can play the fullback, the defensive mid, centre back, can rotate. There's another player we're looking at called Ito. I'll go through him real quick, and then I'm going to end the show. So I don't want it to be a long one. We've all got to wake up early. We've got lives to live as well. But real quick, let's just bring him up. Ito. Can I find him? Last player we're going to look at, and then I'll end the stream. So Ito, Japanese international, is 25 years old, 30 million they're looking at in transfer market. Again, plays in multiple positions once again. So we're looking at players that can play in different areas: left centre back, defensive mid, right sided centre back, left back, and has a left foot as well. He's left footed predominantly. So a left back, he can also play. He has played there before. Again, contract ends in 2027. So it's another 3 years for that contract. There's the levels he's represented Japan at: under 21s, under 15s, under 17s, etc., etc. Currently playing in the squad at the moment. Plays in the 4-2-2-2, so he plays in the back four as well, left-sided centre back. Again, that's his heat map, the whole of the left-hand side. You can see in there. And to be honest with you, look, the players that we're looking at, a lot of them play for their first team. Do you know what I mean? And so it's not going to be easy to pick a player that plays the first team football and say, look, you're going to be playing at Spurs, but we're not guaranteeing you're going to be playing first team football every single week. These ain't no kids. They're not 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. So it's good that we're doing this, but I'm saying if we do get these guys, we have to put that into context as well. These guys are playing Europa, like Fry and I play Europa. Stuttgart play Europa. Do you know what I mean? Some of the players we're linked with, they play Champions League football already, or they've played Champions League football. Like Truda's played Champions League football. So it's not an easy feat if we do manage to get some of these players that we're linked with. And other clubs are looking at them too. So I thought I'd just throw that in. But yeah, just a quick look at him anyway. Just look at his stats as a centre-back. Not bad. Tackles aren't amazing. Interceptions are better. But on the ball, he looks really good. Just to go through it quickly. As a fullback, it's the opposite. Really good as a fullback. But on the ball, there's better fullbacks available. Here he is, clean strike with the ball, scoring a goal there, bottom corner. Again, for Japan, representing, hitting that corner again. Near post finish. Getting the ball across the box into Garassi. He's a quite good striker. I like him. Challenges, he's able to cover a lot of ground and make those last-ditch tackles. Able to get a block there, get a foot in. Able to read the play, position his body well, recovery challenges, make sliding tackles, shoulder to shoulder, wins the ball there for Japan. There he is at Stuttgart. Again, a lot of pace as well. That's what I like for this Japanese kid. He's really tall, good in the air there. But again, he's got long legs, long limbs. He's like 6'3", 6'4", but he's able to cover a lot of ground and he's got a bit of pace. Reminds me of like something good for us in terms of like someone that's quick that can, you know, if Mickey van der Ven's hamstrings go, we've got someone that's got good recovery pace, is able to win the ball there. And all the clips I've got is just literally slide tackle, recovery. Sometimes he stands up, wins the ball up, so it's not always going to ground. But the fact that in our system, a lot of our players go to ground to win that ball back. If we're hitting those channels I keep talking about, we need a player that can cover that ground. So I'm just going to end it there. I'm not going to play the whole clip because, you know, time is of the essence and we've got better things to do. But yeah, man, it just as a defensive cover, someone that can cover all positions. He's a player that we have been linked with today, so I thought I'd quickly bring him up. I'm not saying he's the answer. Obviously, as you saw, he's not going to be elite or world class or in that bracket, but it's just something that the club are looking at to kind of upgrade on a Ben Davies, for example. Then Ben Davies looks like he could be on his last legs. And another player we were looking at was Murillo from Nottingham Forest. I think he's absolutely mustard. I really like him. I remember watching him and thinking, who is this centre back? He is balling out of control in terms of going forward. He's amazing defending. I prefer Murillo, but whether we could get him, I don't know if we could get him and a Gibbs White, or if we could get either of them, because June the 30th is when Forest need to sell. And if we don't come in by then we'll probably lose out on both of them. So I can't see either of those happening.
The thing is, I can't see him going to Chelsea or Liverpool. Like, Liverpool are stacked with midfielders at the moment. Chelsea's stacked with midfielders at the moment. A lot of money invested in Caicedo, partner Enzo in the midfield. United could be an option, because you know what? United's crying out for midfielders. So
true.
Could be a bit of a battle on our hands with them, because they've got, no matter what you think of it, Ash, they've got the prestige over us, the prestige of playing for United
100%.
over us. But it wouldn't be a bad signing for me. I'd take it. I'd take Murillo, but I don't know, man. I just feel like we just got to get these deals over the line before the Euros. But mind you, South American players probably they've got the Copa America this year.
Yeah, they got the Copa America.
Yeah, they got the Copa America. But listen, one thing's for sure, we're going to bring players in, man. But all the players that we mentioned in the show, I'll be happy with them. But again, the club needs to show that ambition. I think I don't want to keep coming back to it. We're all talking hypotheticals here, aren't we? So,
of course.
But for me, I just wish the club shows the ambition that Ange sort of lined out when he first took over. Because this next season is going to be crunch time now, isn't it? Let's be honest. He's had the first season, the honeymoon period is over. But we've also got to give him the tools to do that job. So, yeah, I think go out. If Tony's 50, 60 million, spend 50, 60 million. We dropped 60 bags for Richarlison. Why not do the same for Tony?
Yeah, I hear it, man. I think like during the tournament, I think as teams drop out, I think maybe like the deals will become a bit closer. I think when they're with the actual country, I don't think the deal will. I'm not sure if the deal will happen. It could happen, but I haven't seen that in the past in previous tournaments where like a player's playing and then all of a sudden, they're announcing that they're going to a different club whilst they're on duty with their country. I haven't seen that before, but it could happen. You never know. But I'd imagine like they wait till the tournament's over and then things will get done. I know. Like agents, we could talk to their agents, and then
they can always have a agreement before a tournament and then announce it after the tournament. That happens quite a lot.
The only thing is the window opens on the same day as the tournament starts, which I think is crazy. So it's not like last summer where there was no tournament and we could just do the business straight away. This is just me. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like, I'm happy to be wrong, but this is how I reckon it's going to be. I reckon like the club's probably done it, got their targets ready. They know who they want to talk to. And it's just down to the players' agents and it's down to the selling club whether they want to do it or not. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's just my point. But yeah, what do you think, Alex? And then we'll wrap it up, man.
Well, listen, I think I'm still feeling the way I feel Ashmatic at the moment. I'm just not there. I mean, I wasn't going to be there after the transfer window. I don't think this is the most important transfer window, like everybody's saying. No, but at the moment, I don't see any change in my eyes. I think there's certain players for me need to be brought in, and this is only to get us competing for top four. You know what I mean? I just don't know at the moment. I think there's still things there I know we've let go of a lot of players. In amount of players to the last week or so. I'm getting concerned that we're getting players in that are just similar quality at the moment. You get what I'm saying? I think we're missing a trick, especially with the characters. I think that's the way I'm feeling at the moment. You know what I mean? So that it's been a great show, Ashmatic, and and seeing some of the players that you've suggested that they've been good. You know what I mean? But it's just, I'm not. I just feel it's not. I just haven't got. I've got nothing to really go on. You get what I'm saying? You know.
Underwhelmed,
But it's also, I think also he needs to sort out his. I think he knows he needs to sort out his coaching staff. He needs to sort this out, because I think who's going to be doing the coaching, that's concerning for me as well. If we're going to get these players that who are young, that need to grow, you need a coach to coach them. You know what I mean? One thing I will say that I think is a positive is that he's getting on with the youth director very well. They seem to have a blossoming relationship. I forgot his name now. The youth director for Tottenham, and that bodes well for us with young players coming through. Which Simon Davis, I think his name is. That seems to be a positive. So
we've got a
shows.
new guy called Jack Chapman that's come in.
Yeah,
Help
and I
with
think
recruitment scouts between the ages of 9 and 16, because apparently they're not happy. Anderson's not happy with the actual talent that's available at the moment. Said that the production line needs to be a bit better. But the guy's come from Southampton apparently. He worked at Swansea before, but yeah, he's meant to be helping in that department in terms of what we're actually producing, instead of like cherry picking other clubs and trying to bring them into the academy. We need to be producing our own. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to be fixed at Spurs, but I think
you watch for Bergvall this season though. I think Bergvall might cause a surprise to certain people, because he's got no expectations. There's no expectations there.
The only thing I will say is, obviously the Swedish league, I don't know if it's the Division 2 or Division 3 or the Championship of the Swedish league. And again, it's not one of the top 7 leagues. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, how he's integrated, how we bring him in. I think, like, in terms of expectation for like who we bring in and what happens, I'm keeping it like here. Do you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean I'm not optimistic about the season going into it. If we can improve, I think we can. Do you know what I mean? Let's just see what happens I think the window ends in August. I think it's August. I think it's a bit earlier because I can't remember. I read something about this. It's ending in a bit sooner. I think it ends on a Friday as opposed to a Monday, because I think the weekend is when September happens. But anyway, I'm waiting until then to kind of fully make judgment of it. But until then, like, I'm gonna wait it out and see what happens, and yeah, we'll just take it from there, guys. But guys, I want to thank you for coming on, because it's getting late. I'm not trying to do a super long show, trying to keep these shows short and sweet nowadays. I want to big up my co-host Hass. Big yourself up, man, and hopefully you can join me tomorrow as well, man. On the Rivals.
I'll try my best for tomorrow. I'll if I do come on, it'll probably be for like an hour or so, but it will definitely be after 9 o'clock. But just to let you guys know, I'll be back on more shows as of like this summer, before the season begins as well, and when the season begins as well. But like I said at the beginning of the show, just so much going on in my personal life. So good things, not bad, but just trying to sort all that out. So I'll be back again.
Yes. So big up Hass each and every time. Love for coming on once again. And please, guys, like and share and subscribe if you like what you've seen today. Big up Deji Spurs as well, part of the channel. Thanks for coming on. Obviously, he had to cut as well. Mr. Box Office TV, you were streaming earlier. Guys, please do make sure, if you haven't already, and you do like his opinions or you have a similar stance of what he says, we're here to represent all voices of the fan base. Some people are excited, some people aren't. that's what we're trying to represent here on Spurs Kings TV, a balanced view if we can. And if you do subscribe to Box Office TV, make sure you get down. He's just done a stream, an excellent one at that as well.
I didn't do the stream. I'm doing it tomorrow. No, I'm doing it tomorrow.
I thought I saw you on though. I thought I saw.
No. I had to cancel it.
I thought I saw it on, so I didn't see it. But
no.
cool. So watch out, guys, for Box Office TV. Watch out for that one tomorrow. And he's got a lot to say. He held back a little bit today. So
he's saving it for tomorrow. Put it that way.
He could
I knew it.
Fully unleash. He could fully unleash. But yeah, Alex, once again, big up for coming on. Love every time.
Thanks for inviting me.
Big up to the chat as well, man. Thanks for making the show. A lot of you came in and made the show as big as it was today, man. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, before we go, big shout out to Danny Kiriakou. I can't type for some reason. I can't type to respond to any of you on the chat. But Danny, I'll be out in Amsterdam next month, hopefully for a few days. So I'll get in contact with you again. So we'll sort something out, bro.
Love people. Love for the love, man. And as always, man, come on, you Spurs. And a big Andrew Trust. Peace.